At my parents' 30th anniversary dinner, I slid a single envelope across the table. By the end of that night, my brother was in tears, screaming in the middle of the restaurant. My mother had gone completely pale, and my father's hands wouldn't stop shaking. I just stood up, buttoned my jacket, and walked out. Every family has one, the child who can do no wrong. In our house, that was Brody. When Brody scraped his knee, it was a national emergency. When I broke my arm at 12, my dad told me to walk it off. When Brody wanted an expensive private college, my father remortgaged the house without blinking. When I asked about state school, they said they couldn't afford it. So I spent 4 years grinding warehouse night shifts just to cover tuition. No complaints, no handouts, just work. After graduation, Brody launched 3 boutique clothing brands. All 3 crashed. Each time, my parents called it creative exploration and emptied their savings to fund the next one. For his 3rd failure, they sold our family's lakeside cabin, the place where we caught fireflies as kids, where dad taught us to fish, gone, to keep Brody's sinking ship afloat. When I said something, my mother called me selfish. That was the moment I understood. I would never win their approval, so I stopped chasing it entirely. I moved across the country and built something quietly. No flashy cars, no designer clothes. I drove an old pickup truck, wore plain tees, and lived in a modest fixer-upper while my real estate firm grew in the background. By 28, my net worth crossed $11 million. Nobody in my family knew. I never told them. For 5 years, every phone call from my mother was a 40-minute monologue about Brody's brilliant potential. She never once asked how I was doing. Then came my parents' 30th wedding anniversary dinner. 15 relatives, a long table at a high-end steakhouse downtown. Somewhere between the appetizers and the main course, Brody stood up to make a toast. Except it wasn't really a toast. It was a TED Talk about his new digital consulting firm. He flashed his gold watch, smirked directly at me and said, "It's a shame you're still stuck in that dead-end office job, Mason. You really need to take some financial risks." Like me, my parents beamed. My dad looked at me and actually sighed. "Your brother just has that entrepreneurial spirit. Some people are born to lead, and others are just meant to be comfortable." I didn't argue, didn't flinch. I just smiled, reached into my jacket pocket, and slid a sleek silver envelope across the table. "Happy anniversary," I said quietly. My mom opened it expecting a card. Instead, she pulled out a stack of legal documents and a single brass key. Her eyes moved across the pages, then her face went completely white. It was the deed to our old family cabin. I had tracked down the buyers, negotiated for months, and paid double the market value. All cash. "Mason," my dad whispered, hands visibly trembling. "How did you pay for this? This property is worth over $700,000. Before I could answer, my uncle, who follows financial news closely, looked up slowly from his phone. His expression said everything. "Wait, Mason, your firm is Vanguard Crest, the company that just acquired that commercial plaza downtown for $9 million? The entire table went silent. Not quiet, silent. Forks stopped moving. Glasses stopped clinking. $11 million, actually, I said, keeping my voice calm. My mother dropped her fork. My dad sat there with his mouth open, but Brody's face just collapsed. He stared at the deed, then at his gold watch, which suddenly looked very, very small. He shot up from his chair so fast it screeched across the floor. "You have $11 million? His voice cracked on every word. "And you let me struggle? You let mom and dad worry? You're a monster." A full meltdown, right there. In the middle of a packed restaurant, the golden child unraveling, crying about how the system was rigged, how it wasn't fair, how I had somehow cheated. My parents didn't move. They didn't rush to comfort him this time. They just looked at me, and in their eyes, I finally saw it. Not pride exactly, but something heavier. Recognition. Regret. I stood up, buttoned my jacket, and looked at my brother one last time. "Nobody cheated, Brody. You got the handouts. I just got to work." Then I walked out into the cool night air, got into my old pickup truck, and drove home. It was the best dinner I ever paid for. Some lessons can't be taught. They can only be witnessed.